Football, let's go!
Hello, let's get back into it. We're going to start with the AFC North in this segment of today's podcast. The AFC North is probably the second toughest division in football and probably the toughest division in quarterback play. I know a lot of AFC West fans would like to say otherwise, and I'd agree with them sometimes too. First, we're going to start out with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this is the boldest prediction out of teams this year, besides how bad I'm going to rate the Browns. And I know Browns fans won't like that. But moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, unfortunately, to start off the season, they have a loss with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's too tough of a team for them. Then they get a win against the New England Patriots. You'd like to see that for them. And then they beat the Cleveland Browns. Next game for them is the New York Jets, which is going to be a nice, fun game, and they're going to win that game as well. Sorry, Jets fans. Next is the Buffalo Bills. Moving on to the Buffalo Bills. Again, you're going to hear me say it over and over for that team. Sorry, Steelers fans. You're going to take a loss for that one. After the Bills, they play Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a better quarterback situation. The Steelers lose that game. Then they play the Dolphins to continue a losing streak and lose to the Dolphins. But then they get back in the win column, probably with the Eagles. This is going to be a tough matchup. I might even pick the Eagles to win this game when I pick the Eagles, if that tells you my opinion on this game. So can't be too bold, as I'm kind of throwing a toss-up here. But look for the Steelers and the Eagles to have a pretty good matchup. And then they have a bye week, which is nice for them going into the New Orleans games. I'm actually going to say New Orleans pulls this one off, gives the Steelers an upset. Steelers fans, I think it could go either way, but look for the Saints to surprise some people. This is two questionable teams playing each other, so this is a harder prediction to make. And the Steelers could very well win that game. After that, they play Cincinnati. They lose to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a Super Bowl, coming off a Super Bowl, pretty tough team, better quarterback play. Cincinnati wins that game. Then they play the Colts. This is going to be a tough matchup because by then we'll know what Matt Ryan is with the Colts. But look for that veteran status of Matt Ryan to kind of give the Colts the win here. And I expect the Colts to do nice things. So let's give the Colts some credit and predict them to beat the Steelers. After the Colts, they play the Atlanta Falcons. I think they win that game. After the Atlanta Falcons, they play the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens win that game. Lamar Jackson is a tough quarterback to beat. If they stay healthy, no problem winning this game for the Ravens. After the Ravens game, they play Carolina. Carolina's going to win that game. And it's going to upset a lot of Steelers fans to hear. This is starting to get to that kind of record that you don't want to hear as a Steelers fan. You're probably wrong about, but the Panthers are going to win that game. Then they play a tough Raiders team, and the Steelers are going to upset the Raiders in this game because I don't like the Raiders, even though they have the better team. We'll make a bold prediction. Say before the season even starts, the Steelers win this game. Raiders fans, make sure you leave your comments below to voice your support. After the Vegas game, they play the Baltimore Ravens, and they lose that game. And they have the Deshaun Watson Browns, which they lose. So that's a real tough season for them. I believe that puts them at a 10-loss season or 11-loss season. Either way, not good. But it's going to give them the draft pick that they never receive. And I expect the Steelers to build on their young guys and next season come back and have and be the leading cause that it's the argument for the toughest division in football. Because the Broncos aren't that team, and everybody will be like, well, the Steelers must be, and the AFC North is the best division in football next year, especially with the quarterback play that they have. Now, after the Steelers, we're going to move on to the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are a poopy team, and they're about to get pooped on. Sorry, Browns fans. You're about to get everything you probably deserve, and it's going to be a big disappointment for you guys. To start out the season, this is going to be your first upset, and I know a lot of Browns fans don't want to believe this, but the Panthers are going to have a double-digit win against the Browns to start off the season. The Browns don't win many games without Watson, and they're going to start off the season with a friendly reminder that Baker Mayfield wasn't that terrible, unfortunately for the Browns, and they're going to lose that game. Now, after the Browns game, or the Panthers, the Browns and Panthers, sorry about that. After the Panthers game, they lose to the Jets, and then they lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's 3 straight losses to start the season. And Browns fans are going to be happy to know that my next pick for them is to actually get their first win in an unbelievable fashion against the Atlanta Falcons. Can you believe that, Browns fans? You guys got to win. And you did it without Deshaun Watson. Congratulations. Now, moving on from there, they play the Chargers. And the Chargers, as much as I would like the Browns fans to beat the Chargers, without Watson, they don't get the job done. Maybe if they had him, they would. They lose this game. After the Chargers, they play the Pro Bowl Mac Jones and the Patriots, and they lose that game because they don't have Deshaun Watson. And after that, they play the Baltimore Ravens. They lose that game. Then they lose another game to Cincinnati. And after that, another loss to Cincinnati. They go into the bye week with 1 whole win. Congratulations, Browns fans. This is what it feels like. But in a typical season, you would have a great draft pick. That's what you're used to. But you gave it to the Texans. So we should be congratulating the Texans in this moment. After that, they play the Miami Dolphins for a loss, even coming off a bye. And then the Bills, they lose to the Bills. And then they play Tampa Bay. And they still don't have Deshaun Watson at this point. This is the last game without him. The Browns fans really wish they had him at this point, but they don't. And he loses the game against Tom Brady. Even if I'm mistaken and Watson's already back, they still lose this game because the GOAT is the GOAT. Even though the Browns have a pretty stellar squad, they're just missing that quarterback component. Then after that, they play Houston for Watson's first game back. I guess that's the NFL making fun of the Texans for all the mistakes they've ever done by giving Watson his game back. And the Browns win their second game on the season. Real moral victory for the Browns and the Deshaun Watson team. After that, they move on to play the Cincinnati Bengals. Unfortunately, Bengals fans, Watson is back. And he's going to have a real good squad around him, and I think they pull up an upset victory here. This is an early season prediction. The season hasn't started, and Browns fans are going to be excited that they get one redeeming win in beating the Cincinnati Bengals late in the season. After that, they get the Ravens. It's going to be another tough game, and I'd like to see the Ravens win here, and they very well could. But I'm going to give it to Deshaun Watson, as much hate as I've given on the Browns for the stupid decision they've made. He's still a good quarterback, and he still might be better than Watson. And this is when we'll really, truly find out, especially going against the MVP of Lamar Jackson. After that, the season gets real easy. They get a win against New Orleans Saints, the Washington Commanders, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that gives them a 6-11 record on the season. I'm sure that some Browns fans will argue that it's closer to 8-9 or something like that, but it's definitely not. Don't look for them to win but one game without Deshaun Watson this season. And the Texans will enjoy those high draft picks. It'll be amazing how many they have in the top 10. After that, we're going to move on to Cincinnati Bengals. Coming off that Super Bowl loss, they're going to be looking to make a statement. They have a pretty easy schedule, though, and that's going to be what saves them going into this year. Start off the season, they get an easy win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh doesn't have enough team put together enough to be strong enough to really compete with Cincinnati. Probably a double-digit win. After that, they play the Dallas Cowboys. This could be a tough game, but I'm actually going to give it to Cincinnati here. I'd like to give it to the Cowboys, even though I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. But Cincinnati pulls off this win. Just more talent at the wide receiver position and the quarterback position. Expect them to win this. Another easy win following them with the Jets. A tough game against the Miami Dolphins. Wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins have the upset here, but going to go ahead and give it to Cincinnati, more established team, better quarterback play, probably just as many weapons as the Dolphins. So we'll give them that there. Then after that, they play the Baltimore Ravens. Let's give the Ravens a win there. Cincinnati's got to lose sometime, I suppose, right? So that gives them their first loss of the season, and then they get an easy win against the Saints, the Falcons, the Browns, and then they get a loss against the Carolina Panthers. Upset alert. People aren't going to be expecting this to happen. And remember, you heard it here first. Before the season even started, Baker Mayfield wins this game. And the NFL is going to go crazy. This will actually probably be the game that gets Baker Mayfield a bigger contract than he deserves. After that, they get a bye week, play the Pittsburgh Steelers, get an easy win there. And then another surprise loss is against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are going to regress this year, but they have a big-time moment in beating the Cincinnati Bengals in a regular season game, but don't look for them to make the playoffs or have any kind of big games besides this one, I would imagine. After that, they play Kansas City. The homer in me is going to say Kansas City wins this game. Pat Mahomes finally gets his revenge. Even though I wish it was in Kansas City, that'd be a little better game for me. But this will be the game of the week. Already this far out of the season, we know that everybody's going to have their eyes on this game. It's going to be a close one. Pat Mahomes gets his win. Finally, we appreciate you guys. After that, they play the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is a tough game for them. And I believe Deshaun Watson is actually back for this game. Deshaun Watson wins that game. It's going to be an upset. And you heard it here first. Again, remember who's picking these losses for Cincinnati and remember how correctly they are. Now the NFL is so shocked that it's these teams. After that, they played Tampa Bay against the Colts. Tough, fun matchup. I'm going to give it to Cincinnati. Better overall squad. Still a tough game. Wouldn't be surprised if Tom Brady wins that game as well. After that, they have the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills win that game. And then the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati wins that game. I believe that puts them at a 12-5 record. Should be good enough for the playoffs. And be a fun, tough team. And you never know what happens in the playoffs, especially coming off a Super Bowl contender with the Cincinnati Bengals. Moving on, we're going to a real tough team, the Baltimore Ravens. Big fan of Lamar Jackson. They're a special team because when you play them, you can only play against the Ravens. It's the whole team you're playing against. You got a game plan for them like they're a special team, which always makes it hard. To start off the season, the Baltimore Ravens get an easy win with the Jets and a tough loss with the Dolphins. This is going to be actually, I'm going to give the Ravens the win there. The Dolphins are going to surprise a lot of teams, and I might have picked the Dolphins to win this game, but we're going to give the more established Lamar Jackson the win here with the Dolphins. After that, they play the New England Patriots for an easy game. And then they get their first loss of the season against the Bills. The Bills are a tough team for anybody. The Bills win here. Then they lose against Cincinnati. come back after 2 straight losses and get a win, easy win against the Giants. Another easy win against the Cleveland Browns without Deshaun Watson. And we're going to go with a tough loss to Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. This will be another fun, exciting game. I'm looking forward to this one. After that, they get an easy win with the New Orleans Saints. And then they go on a bye week. And they'll feel pretty good going into the bye week. Lost a couple games, or a few games, but a real tough team. Coming off the bye week, they'll have an upset with the Panthers. That would be a real exciting game, and everyone will be looking forward to that kind of Baker Mayfield-Lamar Jackson matchup. After Carolina, they get an easy win with Jacksonville. And another tough game that Denver fans aren't going to like, but they are going to beat the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, great game. Excited to see. Surprised this isn't a primetime game, but the Ravens win this game if everybody's healthy, and especially if it's a healthy matchup with the Broncos too. Expect a real exciting game. After the Broncos, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they lose to the Cleveland Browns when Deshaun Watson comes back. They beat the Atlanta Falcons with an easy game, but beat a easy game with Pittsburgh, and lose the last game of the year against the Cincinnati Bengals. I wonder if this is a game that keeps them out of the playoffs, because they'll be looking at like an 11-6 record. And with the tough AFC, we're not sure if this is enough to actually get all that done. Looking forward to a tough year for everybody. This is a fun division to try to predict. I'm sure I'll have a few wrong, but don't be surprised if most of them are correct. And thanks for tuning in to this segment. And look forward to the next AFC division.
Woo! Football! Let's go!